Hey guys, welcome to take 3 of this very short Q&A video. I asked on Instagram and YouTube if you guys have questions and you guys put them in, so thank you. Because I'm not that popular, I only have like 8 questions, but I'm gonna answer them now. So first of all, do I ever collab? Let's cook. I do like cooking. I would like to collab in the future, but I think it's the kind of thing that I would do after building a relationship with someone, or if it's like 2 artists that like really appreciate each other's styles and they've been chatting for a while. When and with whom and how that comes about, I don't know. What would you say is the sufficient amount of instruments in a track regardless of a genre? Because if you take a solo guitar piece or solo piano, like a composition by Chopin or something like that, a jazz lick by like Bill Evans jamming on the piano, like it sounds amazing. You don't need more tracks. And then you think of like a big ass Mahler symphony or something where you've got like hundreds of performers, and that sounds great too. So I don't really think there's like a certain number, but what I will say is that I think a lot of producers don't like something in the track and then they just throw in a plugin or throw in more instruments, being like, maybe this will solve it, maybe this will solve it, and at the end of the day they just have this huge giant mess that's really hard to mix. How do you make a living in music? I'm gonna get back to that just now, just because that's like probably the most interesting and important question. Who's your fave composer? Love so many composers. I don't have a favorite, but at the piano I love playing Chopin. When I'm listening to symphonic music, I love late romantic music. I love Tchaikovsky, I love Rimsky-Korsakov. In terms of chamber music, love Brahms. I mean, I don't really want to single anyone out here, but also I'm gonna keep singling out people. Love John Williams. I obviously don't know every composer in the world, but in terms of living composers, he's the one I probably admire the most. All his music is just so good. That's not a good camera angle. Okay, so no fave composer, of course me. Will you keep making music forever? Please? Oh, thanks. What songs inspire you? I don't really know like what inspires me, because something that I like doesn't necessarily inspire me. And also there's like a fine line between inspiration and something being so flippin' dope that like I compare myself to it and then think I'm a loser and then like not have any encouragement to do anything. That's the opposite of inspiration. So I think things that inspire me most are actually artists that I feel I can relate to, that have something or that are further in a area than I am, or that have something I would like to learn from. Not like everything, because that's too much. It's more people that inspire me, you know, people, their approach to music, like Sarah the Instrumentalist. I've learned so much from her this past year because she has such a different approach to music than I used to have, in that I don't think she overthinks things. I mean, I don't know her personally, but it doesn't come across that she like overthinks things, and she kind of goes with the flow and stuff, and I've been trying to grow in that area. So in that respect, like a lot of her music's been inspiring me. It's more trying to kind of get into her mindset. If you're watching, sorry if that's creepy, girl, but yeah, you've inspired me. The money question. Everyone wants a bit of that money. Go buy my samples from Little Beat Shop. More about Little Beat Shop just now. How do I make a living as a musician? Well, right now I don't. But in the past, my full-time job was creating music and being paid for my services and not having anything else that I was being paid for. Wait, let's rewind a bit. So in high school, I did a lot of gigs. I did a lot of performing throughout high school up until kind of like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I did a lot of wedding gigs. I did a lot of backing musician, session musician, playing in orchestras. When there's like a band and they want like random string section in the back, I play there. So I've shared the stage with people like Vanessa May, a lot of well-known South African artists, people like Bobby van Jaarsveld and Plush and Flat Stanley and people like that. So yeah, being like a backup musician and also session musician. Did that for a very long time. So essentially session musician, and that paid decently actually, because I was an in-demand player. There aren't that many viola players around. A lot of people play the violin. So as a viola player, I got a lot of gigs, so that was great. Then transitioning into the life of a composer, I got a lot of work online. I used a website called People Per Hour, but there are other websites like Fiverr or Freelancer, stuff like that. I spent years building up my People Per Hour profile, from charging like super little to charging something I was happy with, to then not being able to charge what I'm happy with, because I feel like there's kind of like this invisible cap on freelancing websites where you know, if someone's creating this like feature film and they wanted to win Oscars, they're not gonna hire a freelancer on people per hour. They're gonna go with like someone that they know personally or someone that was recommended to them that's probably in the same city as them. Did a lot of work there, did a lot of audio editing, did a lot of podcast editing, composing, orchestrating, a lot of orchestrating. That stuff's fun, I enjoy doing that. And it's nice because I get to use all my like classical knowledge and knowledge of the orchestra, which I love, and get paid for it. So I did that. Why do I not make a living in music anymore? Well, it's because I've transitioned to focus on my solo artist project called Little Miss Beats, and my plan is to fund it through my new business called Little Beat Shop, which I would love for you to support. And the reason Little Beat Shop is different is because it's melodic and chord samples specifically, oh gosh, what a pitch, specifically for lo-fi beat makers. So I compose samples, like I perform them, I do sound design stuff, and I give it a very specific sound. You know, a lot of sample pack companies have this like very kind of EDM type clean sound, or like a lot of beat sample packs are like super trap and stuff. So this is lo-fi hip-hop, very nice. So if you're into that stuff, or if you've been watching my tutorials and you've gotten a lot from me over the past years, I would really appreciate that you check it out, their sample packs. Also my project Little Miss Beats, so if you are into lo-fi hip-hop or if you want to check out what I've been doing, check out my current YouTube channel, Little Miss Beats. It's new, it's fresh, it's just music making at the moment. So I'm just editing and I realized I forgot one of the most interesting jobs that I have, and that's I'm a freelance sound designer for Ableton. And I got discovered through the guy that runs that team through my YouTube channel. It's kind of interesting how I've had all these different jobs, and it's all just, I think, from putting myself out there. If I were to give advice to someone that wants to make a living making music, it's obviously so dependent on where you live and what your situation is, but from my life, a lot of things that I've done have been just me putting myself out there and being consistent as it. I mean, I've worked really, really hard. If I can make it work with a crazy anxiety disorder that disallowed me from leaving the house, which I didn't actually mention in this video, to a point that I got like lots of clients overseas and stuff, like I've found a way, in spite of the huge obstacles against me, to make progress in that field. Just do something, start with what you have and work, and if you are a good musician, try again. The interesting thing with Little Miss Beats is that I feel like I finally found something that I enjoy that also resonates in the marketplace, and that's the sweet spot. I still like the classical stuff, and if you're thinking, well, why would I give that up? It's a lot of time. I kind of couldn't earn any more, like I don't know how, I just don't have the right network at this stage to charge what I want to charge for my time, and I thought the next best step for me is to do something that's a little bit more scalable, commercially viable, and that's where Little Miss Beats and Little Beat Shop comes in. That said, I'm literally at the bottom. I haven't made like profits yet, I'm just being transparent here. So it's a new journey, but I've done it in the past, I've built myself up in the past, I can do it again. I can do it, you can do it. So this whole spiel is just to encourage you that, like, if you were really passionate about this, if you're really willing to put in the work and the emotional energy, because I'd speak flippantly about the zillions of rejections I had. It's not always easy, but you gotta pick yourself up and you gotta keep going. And if this is what you really want, then that's what you're gonna do. And that's what you can do. Because your desire will fuel you through all those hardships. Trust yourself, trust your heart, and also don't be a dick about it. Like the other people that are so ambitious that will take success no matter at what cost. And I encourage you to think about what's really important to you and realize that human relationships are incredibly important and your health is incredibly important. There is a way to grow and make a living and still look after yourself and look after humans, because at the end of the day, this world and businesses are run by humans, and if you have bad relationships, it's gonna come back to bite you. So anyway, love my plant, it's so pretty. Okay, bye. And if you are watching this, whatever time in life, and you do have a question, you can leave it down below. If I ever make another Q&A video, I will try and remember to come to this video and see if there are any new questions. So if you want to see more of me, you can follow me on Instagram, check out Little Miss Beats, and go to Little Beat Shop. See how smooth I can get this. Okay, bye. Ooh, smooth. Smooth, smooth, smooth.